present the 2019 graduating class and welcoming you to the 51st commencement exercise held at Edison High School.
We would like to take this opportunity to thank our parents, relatives, teachers, and friends for their continued guidance and support. We appreciate everyone being here today to celebrate this special occasion.
At this time, we would like to introduce our first speaker, Isabel Jackson.
Let me begin with a quote from my father. Never start a speech with a quote. Like many of us in the class of 2019, I guess I've always been a better talker than a listener. But in all seriousness, congratulations. This is a very important moment. We are at the finish line. Every single homework assignment, quiz, test, and group project has led to this moment. Now, whether or not you ever did any of that work was between you and your grades. Nevertheless, here we are. Looking back, I'm happy for all of the memories. The inside jokes, the school spirit, and the successes of this class are all things that will live on even after we have left this place. We have grown up with one another, and now, although we will be moving out into the adult world, we are still connected through the friendships we've forged and the moments we've shared. Currently, our minds are trained on one thing, the future. Whether it's college, the workforce, or the military, we are prepared for what comes next. And more than that, we're excited. We can't wait for that next step and all that it holds. But for today, let's revel in this moment. What we've achieved in scholastics, the arts, and sports deserves to be celebrated. But to understand how we arrived to this moment in our lives, it's important to remember our past and what defines us as a class. Our journey first began with the blurred elementary school memories of crayons, kickball, and choir, eventually stemming to the awkward middle school days of bulky textbooks, top lockers, and cringeworthy fun nights. And now, we finally seem to have stumbled upon the destination of a 12-year journey. We have become the leaders of our school, and it seems appropriate that we take the time to reflect on exactly what defined our years here. Admittedly, we as a class have had our fair share of rough patches. I can still vividly remember the entire class standing along the chain link fence behind the middle school for almost the entire recess, because despite being one of the smaller classes in the school district, our volume was unmatched and therefore often punished. In fact, it is our class's loud voice that seemed to lead us to trouble more than any other wrongdoing. We talked in lines, we talked in class, and we most certainly talked in the cafeteria. As far as class labels go, we were hard to define. But one thing about our class seemed to stand out. We were nothing if not the loudest. Somewhere along the line, we grew up a little bit and learned to be more respectful. And our ability to keep talking has also been a great benefit. We have never been afraid of debating. We have not hesitated to speak openly in front of one another. And isn't it a little funny that the one thing we were told not to do, the very thing that defined us as a group early on, will be one of our most valuable assets in the adult world? I think it is important that when we leave these cardboard walls, that we remember to use our loud voices. Speak up when there is wrongdoing. Be kind with your words, but always make an impact. Refuse to let your voice be washed away with all the white noise. We will soon no longer be grouped together, but what this class as a whole has taught me is that it's okay to be loud and confident. Everyone deserves to be heard. Use the powerful voices we spent years practicing on in lines and classrooms and cafeterias. Congratulations, class of 2019. We've earned this moment. Good luck as you all move out into the world. Vernon Cluding will be our next speaker.
Mr. Goodwin, members of the school board, teachers, parents, friends, and my fellow graduates, I am truly humbled to be able to speak before you today. This day is said to serve as a testament to all the chapters in our lives that have been written, and to honor and to recognize our countless achievements that have taken place within these walls. This is undeniably true. However, I also believe that today marks the beginning of a new chapter, of a blank canvas, an uncharted road. I believe that today signifies that our future is lined in front of our faces, daring us to seize it, taunting us. Now, among my classmates are medals, cords, tassels, which is really the visual show of more than a decade of work. It's quite an impressive thing to think about. 12 years ago, we were all entering the first grade. And I'm sure at the time, the last thing that we were thinking about was this moment right here, right now. Things seemed so much simpler looking back on it. The mind of a child is so naive and grounded in the immediate future. And I can tell you that probably my biggest sources of stress back then was something along the lines of, did we earn enough pennies this week to have a fun Friday at school? Or did so-and-so end up being too much of a loudmouth at recess, so we have to stand against the fence again? Stuff like that. By the way, I promise that wasn't me. But now looking back on those moments, they really do make me smile. So here we are today. What is it that you see? The culmination of our work, perhaps? To my fellow graduates, I think it's safe to say that we feel accomplished individuals, somewhat relieved, too, that we've made it this far. Among us are highly motivated people, violent challenge champions, master performers of the arts, respected athletes, servants to our community, and all-around brilliant young minds. In our time here, our individual actions, along with the efforts through various clubs and organizations, have impacted the lives of countless community members, families, and friends, whether that be by donating food and clothes to the less fortunate, or by simply putting a smile on someone else's face. And in turn, they have equally impacted us as well. These people have taught us unforgettable lessons on everything, including leadership, sacrifice, life, love, and the fundamental theorem of calculus. And as crazy as that feels, after this ceremony has concluded, we will officially be high school graduates. Sitting out here, clothed in our blue and white graduation gowns, serves as a sign that their mentoring of us has reached its twilight hours. So what does that mean for us? Being 18 might make us adults in the eyes of the law, but quite frankly, and for all intents and purposes, we are still those young and naive school children from 12 years ago. This is only the beginning of our story and our learning. I can guarantee you that the vast majority of us in this room, young adults, myself included, have yet to know what real struggle and hardship feels like. As we grow up and eventually move out and write our own stories, we are going to be faced with challenges that are seriously going to beat us to the breaking point. Will we cave into the hardships of life? I pray not. The world is going to throw a ton of crappy days at us, a bunch of average ones, some pleasant moments in between. At that point, the only thing that's really up to us is what we make of those days. See, we cannot control the sphere of chaos that encircles our lives. However, we can control how we react to that chaos. We can seize each day, making the most out of every moment and experience that we have. Graduates, as we prepare to enter life more independent than ever, I know that many of us will go very far with our work. Our parents are undeniably proud of us and of all the qualities and attributes that we have the potential to bring to the table. I implore each and every one of you to never miss an opportunity to cultivate yourself and to experience something new. Wake up each morning with the mentality that the new day is going to bring unique encounters and struggles for yourselves, and be perfectly okay with that. In fact, I dare you to welcome the struggles. Welcome the pain, the smiles, the pleasure, and the lessons that we have the privilege to stumble upon. Beneath that chaotic surface of life is purpose. It's all for us. So, by all means, teachers, friends, graduates, no matter who you are, value yourself and your potential, and in doing so, make every moment of your existence matter. Stand strong, love life, and seize the day. Thank you. Please stand for the singing of the Alma Mater.
So well. Many of you probably remember homecoming dances as a dark gym, booming music, and sweating more than we'd like to admit. However, all of us probably remember our first school dance a little bit differently. For some of us, it might have been laced with insecurities, awkwardly standing at the side of the gym, feeling like the night had not ended soon enough. At least that's how I remember my first homecoming. If you had the pleasure of witnessing me at my first dance, you were bound to see me standing to the side of my friends refusing to dance. When the night was over, I was relieved to finally be able to go home. I didn't recognize what I had just missed out on. Nobody told me that those times in the overheated gym, dancing and bonding with my classmates and friends would be some of the best memories I had. At my freshman homecoming, I wasted my time sitting around and worrying about what other people would think when they saw my nerves and dancing. I'm here to tell you that you can't worry so much about what other people think. Their opinions don't matter, and I'm glad that I grasped that concept so I didn't waste any more of my time standing off to the side when I could have been having the time of my life with my friends. Like the first dance, I would like you to think back to our first day of high school. Many of us will refuse to admit it, but we are also excited to start this new journey. At least I was. These next 4 years were supposed to be the best of our lives. That's what we've always been told, right? I intended to spend them hanging out with my friends every weekend, cheering on my classmates and playing the sports I love. However, what people fail to tell us is how fast the time actually goes. I think we can all agree that these past 4 years have flown by, and those years that were supposed to be the best of our lives, I remember wishing them away. I always couldn't wait for what was next. I couldn't wait until the dance was over. I couldn't wait for the season to be over. I couldn't wait for the year to be over. But most of all, I couldn't wait to graduate. I'm looking back now, realizing just how much I took for granted the time I had been given. Not only did I waste my time, but I also wasted away chances on making unforgettable memories with my classmates and friends. We're always going to have those moments when we feel awkward, but we shouldn't let those moments get in the way of us creating memories that will last a lifetime. As a society, we often find ourselves wasting time, like watching Netflix or playing Fortnite or whatever else we may be doing. As we look out into our future, we cannot forget the time we have now. As Michael Altshuler once said, the bad news is time flies. The good news is you're the pilot. What I'm trying to say is do what you want to do. Only you can control what you do with your time. Live in the moment, because if you don't, the next thing you know, you'll be looking back wondering where the years have gone. I'm glad I gained the confidence to look past myself and dance with my friends. I hope everyone will gain this confidence and carry it with them as we go our separate ways. I'm lucky to have been given the time to be up in front of all of you one last time, and I hope I didn't waste it. Thank you. Our next speaker is Lexi Wire.
We're here. Those are the words many of us have dreamed of hearing for years, and now they finally become reality. The recognizable gowns that we wear today feel a different weight now that they're on our shoulders. And all the emotions we prepared ourselves for this past year have been amplified. We did it, and now the only question is, what's next? Next. It's quite a daunting word. In the next few years, we will each have our own barriers and obstacles to overcome, and they will all be by no means easy. But the important thing is to not lose hope, Because the same people sitting in this gym today who've helped guide us through our high school years will be the ones who will get us through the challenges of tomorrow. Each individual amongst us has been invited to share with us in this moment of pride because they played a significant role in our lives. Through our parents, teachers, and friends alike, we've shared many memories that have molded us into the young men and women that we are today. While it is true that many of us may branch out past the city of Milan, these individuals will forever impact our lives. Each morning that we begrudgingly drag ourselves out of bed for an 8 a.m. class, each time that we struggle to endure the routine of working daily, and each time that we doubt our place in this world, we will remember those who made it possible for us to succeed in life. We will attend our classes diligently, we will work enthusiastically, and we will hope relentlessly, because at the end of the day, each person that has sacrificed in some way so that we can be on the stage receiving our diplomas, each teacher that was committed to helping us learn a concept, each parent that attended all of our extracurricular activities, each church member who uplifted us, and each community member who supported us, did so as an investment not just in our futures, but to the world. As we enter into our respective roles in society, it is our responsibility to figure out how we can best repay that investment. There will always be a niche to fill in our communities. The goal is to use your passion as a way to reach others, especially the younger generations who will eventually look to us. But past that, we must see how we can use good character to brighten the society that we live in. The role models in our lives have been great examples of integrity, humility, respectfulness, and dependability. This past year, we've been given a glimpse of what it's like to hold similar positions of leadership through our involvement as team captains, peer tutors, and club presidents. Now, as many of us relinquish those roles, we will be entering into new positions, either as freshmen in college, new recruits, or rookie employees. But even despite no longer holding the same ability to garner feeling and respect from the freshmen in the halls, we still hold the responsibility to be leaders through example. Now, instead of serving as a role model in just Edison High School, we will be serving as an example to the world. Let this be the class that instills the importance of having a good work ethic. Let this be the class that seeks positive solutions rather than heated, derisive debates. Let this be the class that restores hope, even amid the tsunami of problems that surround us. There's often a cheesy, overused statement that goes a little something like this: you can change the world. Unfortunately, what is actually a powerful and inspiring message has been overshadowed by forgotten promises of greatness. In its place stands a willingness to accept mediocrity and instant ends. My challenge to each of the graduates sitting before me is simple. Don't be restrained by the small failures in life. If we quit every time we had to retake a math test, many of us would not be here today. If we stopped trying after a disappointing ACT score, that number would be even smaller. If we dropped out every time the air conditioner stopped working in school, virtually no one would be graduating today. The point is, despite the many challenges in life, we have all still been able to make it to this point. We may never find within us the same type of genius from Thomas Edison, or the remarkable courage and influence of Martin Luther King Jr., but we do each have a unique perspective and gift that we can use as means to positively impact the lives of others. That in itself should give us enough motivation to take on each challenge that we have head on. Because at the end of the day, we are Edison High School's class of 2019, and we will do great things.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Tom Roth.
Good afternoon. Well, here we are. Finally, the day that you couldn't wait to arrive, but never thought would get here. You've worked so hard to get all of the necessary requirements done. Also, you can walk across the stage in a few minutes and receive your high school diploma. Bask in the glory of the moment. You deserve to. Celebrate, because it is not an easy task. Let me be the first to congratulate you on a job well begun. Yes, I said a job well begun, as elementary and high school are merely the beginning of your story. I know that it's a cliche, but it is true. Your life is a story, your story, and that story has only just begun. And the best part about it is that you are the author of your story. You get to choose, for the most part, how your story progresses from here on out. It is your choices that will determine how your story goes. It can be an adventure, horror, romantic comedy, how to be successful, or any other type that you may desire. Oftentimes, it's going to be all of the above. But whatever it is, will be up to you. Sure, you can say that there are things that occur that are out of your control, but these are the plot twists. After all, every good story has plot twists. The story wouldn't be exciting and interesting without them. It is up to you as the author to determine what happens after these twists occur. You can sit back and feel sorry for yourself, blame others, or give up when life gives you a plot twist that you do not want. Or you can find a way to use them to make the story more meaningful, exciting, and worth continuing to follow. Each new chapter building on the last. Some will be boring, and you'll want to stop following them. Trust me, as you get older, sometimes the boring is good to get a little break. But you continue on, hoping and knowing that it will get better. Sometimes it will be heartbreaking when all you can do is cry. But press on, and the story will get better, and you'll see. And some will be exciting, where you just can't wait to see what comes next. But all are essential to making a great story. You all have done great things in the beginning chapters of your story. Whether you believe it or not, you have all inspired others at some point, either in sports, art, music, theater, or any of the other millions of things you have already done up to this moment. You have all made an impression on us as you began your story, and you will be missed as you leave our life stories to continue your own. So, the pen is in your hands. What kind of story will you write? Whatever type you choose, make it a story worth telling.
It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. William Muthig, President of the Edison Local Board of Education.
Edison High School class of 2019. There was a word that I would like you to keep in the back of your minds as you hear my remarks. And that word is opportunity. And I want you to keep that in the back of your mind because it's going to be very important later on as I conclude my remarks. And you'll get a chance to exercise those voices that Isabel was talking about. What I want to talk about this afternoon is what we are doing here and why we are here. Imagine, if you will, that there's some people in the back of this gymnasium who are observing all that's going on here this afternoon. They are cultural anthropologists. And as they watch what's taking place, they say to themselves, this is a rite of passage. Now, that's not what we call it. That's what they call it. In a way, that expression carries more meaning than just saying graduation. What does it mean? Let's take it apart a little bit. Rite. The rite they're talking about is spelled R-I-T-E. And it means ceremonial rituals or activities, actions that are in commemoration of something. What are they? Well, you've been a part of it right from the very beginning. As you walked in, escorted by the academic leaders of the junior class, and you came in two columns and interwove yourselves into the rows as you sat down. Those are all activities that are part of this rite. The music that was played as you came in. The fact that the audience all stood up as you walked in. There are very few times in life when people will stand as you enter a room. This is one of them. That's all part of the rite. Singing of your alma mater for the final time as a class. And ultimately, as you cross the stage, and in a very formal and dignified way, the audience will watch as you receive your diplomas. That's the ritual. That's the rite. But what's the passage? What's passing from one place to another? Well, it's you. you are passing from what I'll say is a foundation stage of your life to a building stage of your life. The foundation comes from a variety of sources. It comes from your home, your family, your relatives, the people who embraced you from your birth and have brought you right up to this very day. It comes from your friends and neighbors, the people who maybe babysat for you when you were a little child, or the people who helped you with 4-H projects or with scouting, the people who coached you in baseball or softball, and those you could turn to and count on that when it came to a booster membership, they would always chip in some money and take a membership from you. There's the communities at large, Milan and Berlin Heights, and all the surrounding townships that make up this district. Because these communities have chosen to vote for levies, to place taxes on them to support these schools that you could attend. But more than that, these communities have come together to devote time and effort and money, so you had a new field house to practice in, you had new science classrooms this year to learn in, and you had a host of scholarships and awards that you received a couple weeks ago. And finally, there are the schools themselves. By that, I don't mean brick and mortar. I mean the people, the cooks, the bus drivers, the custodians, the teachers, the administrators, the secretaries, everyone who made sure that every day when you came to school, there were times when you could learn. That's the foundation. The people who have supported you all the way until now. But now the building stage. This is where you take over, because your paths are going to go in a variety of directions. Some of you will perhaps have an internship with a business, or an apprenticeship with a skilled trade. Some of you may be going to a nursing school, or a business college, or community college, or university. Some of you are prepared enough you can go directly into the world of work. You have jobs waiting for you now. And I know there are some that are going to serve in our nation's armed forces. And we also have some of you that are going to go into fields that we can't even imagine. They don't exist yet. But at some point in your life, you'll be partaking of that field and leading in that field. And along the way, you're going to acquire a new identity. Some of you will be known by the titles that you have. Foreman, marketing analyst, software developer, director. Or you may be known by the positions that you hold. Your licensed contractor, your business owner, you're a consultant. Some of you will be known by your rank, lieutenant, major, colonel. Some of you will be known by the offices that you hold. Township trustee, auditor, senator. And some of you will have titles that we don't know what those titles are, because they're in those unimagined fields that haven't been identified yet. And hopefully you'll all have some generic titles. Reliable worker, good parent, participating citizen. That's what my remarks are about. And now, we can hear the word that I asked you to remember. And that word was opportunity. That's what this is all about. Your opportunity as you pursue your pathways and acquire your identities. That's the reason for this coming together. That's why this is a rite of passage. As you move from the foundation provided for the last 18 years for all of you, by home and neighbors and community and schools, and you take your own pathways and you go to what awaits you in the coming years, and you build your new identities. On behalf of the Board of Education, and to congratulate you on your achievements, and there have been many, and extend to you, each and every one of you, best wishes as you pursue your opportunities.
ahead, Mr. Muthig. Mr. Muthig, at this time I'd like to present the graduating class. I certify that 113 members of the 2019 senior class of Edison High School have met the requirements of the Ohio State Board of Education and the Edison Local Board of Education and are entitled to a diploma, so stated. Raymond Adams III. Marshall R. Harwood. Sierra Elaine Hogg. Dustin James Baker. Jacob Anthony Barnett. Jacob Vincent Barnett. Shane Patrick Barron. Jessica Diane Bernard. Caleb William Bissell. Mitchell Andrew Brown. Nicholas L. Capel. Hannah Renee Seha. Isabel Hope Chasney. Johanna Rachel Sherman. Caden Richard Cooper. Alexander M. Crawford. Andrew Stephen Crawford. Hunter Matthew Dale. Hannah Elaine Dancy. Samuel E. Daniker. John Joseph DeJesus Jr. Isabel Grace Biles. Kayla Lee Dunn. Carson T. Earhart. Casey Warren Fair. Elena Ann Fiddler. Hunter Michael Foltz. Lindsay Rochelle Fortuna. Jared David Fraley. Nathaniel James Gaudiello. Keegan Spencer Lee Brains. Brendan Daniel Joshua D. Hartzell. Jocelyn Summer Harrod. Zachary Lewis Pendle. Evan Craig Hoffman. Ashton Roland Hauser. Grace Elizabeth Hauser. Molly Sierra Hauser. Jonathan Thomas Rivnak. Aubrey Alyssa Jones. Wesley Christopher Kane. Isaac James Keith. John Jeffrey Jordan Keegan III. Courtney Elizabeth Higrice. Caitlin Michelle Kelly. Emma Catherine Kyogen. Jacoby J. Kessler. Larry Keith Kessler. Haley Rachel Ketchum. Hallie Nicole Kilbright. Lily Elizabeth Klepper. Vernon Matthew Clutie. Carter J. Kramer. Patrick David Craiglow. Melissa Nicole Poole. Austin James Flores. Justin Anthony Flores. Castera William Charles Mastropolo. Kevin A. Kowalski. Mariah Renee Medina. Connor Patrick Metz. Angela Dawn Miller. Megan Catherine Morley. Miranda Ann Morley. Kristen Abigail Leet. Kendra Alexandria Oliver. Autumn Ray Ortiz. Morgan Kane Otto. Allison Mary Pennell. Dylan John Pounds. Caleb John Preston. Holly Rose Rassiopi. Kyle J. Rassiopi. Michael Aaron Roth. Julianne Michelle Rothenberger. Jessica Ray Stanko. Tyler Michael Saylor. Sydney Marie Schuster. Morgan Grace Scott. Riley Seville. Nicholas William Schaefer. Seth Gabriel Shanley. Cassandra Schumann. Samantha Smith. Nisha Solanke. Josephine Beth Sobiak. Jessica Caitlin Stahl. Jared Matthew Thompson. Colin J. Tucson. Nick Eli Hustler. Deshaun Michael. Lisa Christine Villa. Hannah Marie Vitez. Jessica Marie Wilnell. Riley Nicole Horner. Lexi Lee Wire. Matthew Joseph Witt. Colt Zachary Whitehold. Grace Madeline Wilson. Mason Hunter Gates. I hereby declare the class of 2019 graduates of Edison High School. Congratulations.